I have a new hashtag that I want to popularize on hashtag new Twitter. And it's hashtag wake the fuck up. Okay, both parties are controlled by those in power, the power elite. Alright? There are people who in this world, all they want is power. And they do things like go to islands where they can rape underage girls and get away with it. The victims identified billionaires. They identified congressmen on both the left and the right. They identified major people within other governments. And I can't even name them for fear that this video will be deleted. But I can do so on Twitter. Because right now, there is some level of free speech. So let's start trying to wake people the fuck up on Twitter. Hashtag wake the fuck up. The Security and Exchange Commission is controlled by Wall Street lobbyists. The CDC is controlled by Big Pharma. During the COVID outbreak, did they tell people, lose weight, stop smoking, exercise, stop being sedentary, get your vitamin D, get out in the sun, do things that improve your health, that improve your immune system? If you're healthier, drink less. If you're healthier, your immune system will work better and less people will die of COVID. Did the CDC do anything that involved encouraging people to get healthier? No, because the CDC is controlled by Big Pharma, and Big Pharma wants you sick, because the sicker Americans are, the more money they make. And yes, the CEOs in Big Pharma are sociopaths. The most successful people in Big Pharma are sociopaths. Like Purdue, knowingly sold OxyContin, knowing it was addictive, and lied to doctors about it. Lied to regulatory agencies about it. And they profited off of it to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. And the fines they paid were just a drop in the bucket. Maybe 2 or 3% of the overall profits they made. They weren't punished for it. They got away with it. With basically being a corporate level drug dealing operation. There was another company that knowingly sold, what was it? It was Bayer. And I'll have the link below. They sold some sort of drug for people with a blood disorder that was infected with HIV. They had donated blood that was infected with HIV, and they knowingly still sold it to hemophiliacs. Yes, hemophiliacs, knowing that some of the batch was infected with HIV. The email showed that they knew that some of the batch was a batch of their blood that they were going to give to people who had blood disorders was infected with HIV. They knew that some of the patients would get HIV, and they did. And the fine did not at all, it put a tiny little dent in the amount of profits they made. And no one went to jail, no one went to prison for knowingly selling drugs that were infected with the HIV virus. We have the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warns about, where, General Wesley Clark, a 5-star general, warned us in 2007 that weeks after 9/11, the Bush administration, well, Dick Cheney in particular, said they were going to invade 7 countries in 5 years. Now, they didn't pull that off. So Obama invaded 4 of the countries on that list. Why? Because it doesn't matter who's president, the military-industrial complex is still in control. Hashtag wake the fuck up. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's so easy to control people with this false dichotomy. A false dichotomy is when people say you can only do this, and you can only do A, or you can only do B. You can only be on the left, or you can only be on the right. You only have 2 choices. That's a false dichotomy. That is a logical fallacy. You don't only have 2 choices. You can choose to support people who are on the quote left and the quote right, who actually are authentic individuals who care about the American people. I would support a Democrat like Dennis Kucinich, or who is that woman from Hawaii? Someone who actually cares about unions, who actually cares about blue collar workers, who actually cares about the toxins in our food and water and our air over a rhino any day of the week. I would choose Tulsi Gabbard over George Bush or Dick Cheney any day of the week. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about whether you give a fuck, actually give a fuck about the American people and you want what's best for the country, versus if you only give a fuck about yourself and your small little group of friends who are at the top of the pyramid. Look at the $1 bill. There's a pyramid on it, and on top of the pyramid there's an eye. Why? Because the people on top of the pyramid in our social structure, the hierarchy of status within our society, those at the top can see, and those at the bottom are blind and only exist to support those at the top of the pyramid. That's how this country works. And the power elite theory of sociology is taught in every sociology course. It is the paradigm whereby which power is controlled by a very small group of powerful men and women at the top of corporations and government who are in their own little social circle. They all go to the same schools. They all go, Harvard and Yale. They all go to the same type of meetings: Bohemian Grove, Pedophile Island, the Bilderberg Group, Club of Rome. They all go to the CFR, Council of Foreign Relations. They all go to the same meetings, and they all are working towards the same goals: consolidating their power within the world, conquering nations that are a threat to their global hegemony. And what they want is a one world government where they have complete and utter control over all of humanity. And once AI can replace us, the worker drones, the worker bees, the cattle, the work animals, they're going to eliminate 99% of the population, merge with machines, cure aging, and they won't need us anymore. They'll exterminate us. Use the AI robot soldiers to slaughter us all, and we'll be completely defenseless against them. They'll use drones. They'll use robots. They'll use AI to completely destroy us. So, because they don't give a fuck about us. It's about them. It's about the power elite. It's about those who are illuminated, those who can see. It's the people have been calling us conspiracy theorists for 50 years. We've been warning people, look, both parties are controlled by the same people. All the regulatory agencies are captured. They use false flag operations to get us involved in wars. They use the sinking of the Lusitania to get us involved in war. They use Pearl Harbor to get us involved in war. They use 9/11 knowingly to get us involved in war so they can invade the countries they wanted to invade, to start the war on terror. Watch Terror Storm, A History of Government-Sponsored Terror. It is a documentary which shows all the documents, including documents like Operation Northwoods, signed by the Chief Joint of Staff during the John F. Kennedy administration, where the Chief Joint of Staff are the heads of all our military organizations, the head of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. They all signed off on a plan to blow up airliners in the United States and have staged terrorist attacks in Miami and throughout Florida, and blame it on the Cubans as an excuse to start a war in Cuba. JFK declined that plan. He conveniently died shortly afterwards. He decided not to do what the military-industrial complex wanted to do, and he just happened to be killed by a magic bullet. Very convenient. While George Bush Sr. was the head of the CIA, and that same head of the CIA later became president of the United States, and then his son became president of the United States. And don't even get me started on the Clintons. Okay? Hashtag wake the fuck up. Use it on Twitter. Let's start waking people up to how things really work.